Everything we need already exists inside of us. We hold the key to open the door to discover who we are and why we exist. Conversations help us find that truth. Relationships are vital. IDKY hopes to ignite your curiosity and perhaps give you courage to open the door. Welcome back to session 2 with the IDKY podcast. We're here with Holly Kirsh, and we are at the beautiful Collections boutique. And we're going to move on with the conversation. And if it's okay with you, let's talk about family stuff.
Oh, I love family.
So why don't you tell us how you and your husband met?
This is always a fun story. So I went to University of Kentucky, grew up in Lexington, and my first job offer was Indianapolis. Okay, so when I was growing up, I was a mama's girl. I stayed like within a mile of my house. I went to University of Kentucky, lived on campus, but my home was a mile away. And I never went to camp. So when I got this job offer with Pitney Bowes, a Fortune 200 company, to move to Indianapolis, I felt like I was going to Los Angeles, because I really never had done anything on my own. So at age 23, I get this great job offer. I move here, immediately meet a gal at work who's my age who invited me to live on her couch because she had an apartment. And to me, that was the best gift because I did not know where to start to live. I didn't have one friend, knew one person in Indianapolis. So I had taught fitness at night when I was in college. And so I thought, well, I need to get, when I'm not working full time, to meet some people, I could be a fitness instructor. So back in the day, it was Bally Scandinavian here at Keystone at the Crossing. So it was like the pickup workout place, like the LA Fitness of the time, of today's world or Lifetime. So I got a job and I was teaching Tuesday and Thursday nights. So on this platform, you're on a stage looking at the whole club. And I always saw this really nice looking gentleman, never working out and always talking to pretty girls. And I remember rolling my eyes as I would, be up there subconsciously like, oh, that's such a womanizer, so not like me, but he is cute. He knows he's cute. And little did I know that he was eyeing me and wanted to go out with me. So I had heard through the grapevine, and I was like, you know what? He's not my type. However, he does know everybody in this club, and I didn't know anybody. So I thought, if he asks me out, I'll go because I feel like I'll meet a lot of people through him. So that was my intentions and my thought. Little did I know that that first date I felt something beyond I've ever experienced. First of all, I wasn't wanting a boyfriend because I had my first paycheck, my first place. I felt so grown up. I had my best friend. We were doing fun things socially. I was just so happy and I felt independent. As I told you, I hadn't had this forever, and I was so joyful. So my agenda wasn't a man at all. To go meet people, yes, but God had another plan. So I will never forget, he had asked me to Al Jarreau, which is a great singer downtown at the tennis center downtown, front row seats or something. But he said, before we do this, why don't we go out just to get to know each other? So we went to Rick's Dockside back in the day. And we talked for 4 hours. And I was expecting him to talk about himself and his accomplishments and just be this ego guy. He was so endearing, so invested in learning about me. And this whole feeling just took over me. Like we all know what the hot flash of like meeting somebody, that was there, but it was beyond that, beyond anything I'd ever experienced. And I remember going home feeling scared. Like, what is this? And it was just the opposite of everything I was expecting. So this was August of 87. And long story short, he proposed to me in December of 87 on New Year's Eve, and we were married in June of 88. So he said after that first date, he knew he wanted to marry me. And I had no idea he was going to propose to me in less than 4 months. But 38 years later, I guess it's okay.
Yes, that's fantastic.
So, and today, if you see him in the workout room, he's still talking not only to pretty women, but to men. He's just very, very social. And so that's where sometimes we can't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, do you think you misinterpreted that?
I for sure did.
For sure, okay.
Yeah, I for sure did. So fast forward, now we have 3 children. I talked a little bit about Trevor, about us and his heart surgery and getting through those teenage years, but he is just doing so great. And I am a grandmother for the first time. Little Lucy is a month old. So it's the best feeling. Everyone warned me, but I'm enjoying that. And his wife, Katie, is adorable, and they live close by.
In the shadow of you're still lucky to have him around.
Yes, right.
It
God had
makes
so
it
many
even
plans for
richer.
him. Yes.
Oh,
Because he did have his fourth surgery less than a year ago with a mechanical valve replacement. So he's doing amazing. So God is good.
That's amazing.
And then my daughter Olivia, so she was my only of the three that came on her due date, and I was only 3 hours of labor. So if that gives you any idea, girls rule. My boys, a lot different, and my baby Harrison, who's now 24, and Olivia's 30, just turned 30. My Harrison, he has just been a joy, lucky. He's my only child, doesn't want to seem to move out of the house.
Oh.
So he's got his first job, he's doing really well, but we just, we have a great time.
Yeah.
And he and I had the opportunity to go on a mission trip. And that was really fun. So as he graduated from IU, he started playing pickleball, which he used to kid my husband and I, like, that's for old people. And now he's like an avid pickleball player and very good. And he started playing pickleball with, what I love about pickleball, you play with all ethnicities, all ages, all professions. It's one sport that brings everyone together. And so it's typical, like you might play with somebody 20 years older, 10 years younger. It's just a blast. Well, he started playing with this particular gal who he clicked with, and they started playing a few tournaments. And she said, I have this calling that I'm supposed to invite you to this mission trip to Uganda. And she had led this, her name was Shannon, she had led this before. And what I thought was amazing is how I did not know his friend Shannon at the time. He came home with this passion. Mom, Dad, I want you to go. Dad, they need a man. I want you to go on this trip with me. He's like, I'm not feeling it. Uganda in the summer, I'm not feeling it. And I love Joel, but this makes me laugh. And I was like, well, I'll go. He goes, no, Mom, they don't need any women. They already have enough women. They need a man. I was like, all right. Well, then I started thinking, well, who is this girl that's invited him? Like, she doesn't want me to go. She was playing pickleball with my son, So all these little things started going in my mind. So I started playing pickleball with them. I got to meet her. And all of a sudden, I get this call. You know what? Things have changed. A man had to drop out. So now we have an opening, or a man stepped up. So now we have an opening that you could go. And because Harrison they said that he had to have a parent go with him even though he was 24 for this, because it's a family mission trip, so they wanted family units going. And so they were going to somehow make it work so he could go, because he had, as a 24-year-old, to have this deep passion to go to Uganda and serve was just, we didn't want to crush that.
Right.
And then I was able to go, which my dad worked for Food for the Poor and did Haiti trips, and my two oldest got to go, but I never got to go, and neither did my son. So also as a mom, I baptized my kids growing up, but I couldn't have the vivid memory of Harrison's baptism. And I kept asking, are you sure we got him baptized? And I know my stepdad baptized him, but I don't have pictures like I do on my other two. And he's like, well, Mom, I don't have any memory of that because I was a baby, because I would like to be baptized. And we had talked at Northview Church a year ago, like, let's get rebaptized as adults. And then when this Uganda trip, we said, oh my gosh, Harrison, what do you think we go get baptized in Uganda? And he's like, absolutely. So I shared with the ministry that we were going, called Bright Hope, and they're like, we'll make that happen. We don't know how we'll because you can't get in the water there. It's, there's just mosquitoes, that, malaria, things that
Yes.
can really, you have to be so careful. But they're like, I was like, well, just be in Uganda if we get some water,
Right.
Well, not only did they do that, they invested in a pool, a huge swimming pool. And that day at that church, 80 people were baptized. They had never done it before, and they invested in the pool. They've kept it there, so now they have it for their church and for all the other mission trips of anyone who feels called. So it was the most miraculous, and we were the first to be baptized, because it was kind of like our idea. And then the whole town and villages of the people got in the pool, and the priest there just kept doing the baptism. So it was such a joyful day for my son and I to experience that, and then to see the community come together, and then this is something that they can go. So there's a Destiny of Life story again. Wow. It was really, really powerful.
What seeds were planted.
Yeah.
I mean, I just ran into a pastor in Times Square, and he's from Korea, and he said 200 years ago missionaries came to Korea and planted seeds, and he said now it's our turn to come to America and return the gift of faith. And it was so so
That gives me goosebumps.
I know, and that's exactly what you did in Uganda. Amazing.
And they carried this pool. It's collapsed pool, but it was like literally 50 pounds, kind of like a playpen, you know?
Yeah.
And you pop it up, but it was a huge pool, 3 feet round, and I was just really appreciated them making the effort to do this, but then seeing that God had this plan, because now it's opened up the door, and it just was amazing.
And how many times do we keep a thought like that and not say it out loud and kind of wait for it to happen? I think that just says, say it out loud, and then we're going to make that happen.
Yeah.
And then look at what just fell into
because it was
place.
something we thought 1 year prior. Little did we ever visualize that we would be in Uganda doing it, but we knew that we committed to wanting to be baptized together.
Yes.
And then I didn't even think about it right at the beginning of the Uganda, because it was just, I wouldn't even know if I was going to go. And then and then it was like came to me, and it was just spectacular.
That's amazing. Question: does your husband want to go on a mission trip now, or is he still not called?
That is a great question. His faith, so we go to non-denominational because he came from Jewish background.
Yeah.
I took him to a Billy Graham event 20 years ago.
Was it Lucas or RCA Dome?
Yeah.
I was there as well.
Oh my gosh. And that's where he committed his life. And
that was amazing.
You know, as somebody, the Jewish is such a beautiful, and it's all part of all of us,
we
right?
need it. We can't, we're not where we are if we don't embrace that.
What the other thing I think is amazing is that my parents, my stepdad was an Episcopal priest, so he married me, and then my biological dad walked me down, so it was really a nice thing. But nobody in my family questioned, what are you marrying a Jewish man? What's going to happen?
Right.
And I think to me that's a great lesson, because I was so in love with him, I didn't care what he was at the time.
Right.
And God take care of it. Look at it. Like all that worry and
the
judgment and all the things would have done no good, probably to make us have. And then once you have children, if you come like from background, he lost his mom at age 16, so he didn't have the role model in his faith, even though he had an amazing father. He did get remarried, but he didn't really have as much of the backing I did from having an Episcopal priest father, right? And I just felt that he was, very sensitive to his Jewish friends, never to think that he has left his faith, because it's part of who we are always. But once you start having children, then you start questioning, what do I believe? What I want to have my kids have something in this crazy world of ours, that they can always have a personal relationship and know that they're never alone.
Yes.
And that's when we really started to get into our faith. And I was also honoring the high holidays when my kids were little for Judaism, because I thought it was so beautiful, and it is. And non-denominational church works really well for him, where I was raised in an Episcopal faith, which is very traditional and orchestrated. And if you don't know Jesus already, you could get lost in all of the beautiful ceremonial part without getting the message.
Absolutely.
Where I feel like in our situation, you can't leave our church without understanding a lesson of that day that you can apply for that week. And to him, that really, and so my goal was just to have a place that he felt comfortable, that was Christ-centered.
And I think something that's been revealed to me recently is love and truth are universal. It does not matter the title of the faith. It's in every, love and truth is in every practices of, if you honor God, right? And the Jewish people, it's different, because there's people that want to eliminate them. I mean, from what Hitler did, I imagine if I was raised Jewish, I would have our time moving from that, because there's this brotherhood in that.
Yeah. It's
they
a
don't want to
beautiful
turn their
faith
back
and a
on
beautiful
that.
loyalty community. Very loyal.
Yes.
Don't play the victim, but have been victimized.
Right.
Continue to be optimistic and go forward and do all the things to make such a beautiful place in this world. And it's just mind-blowing that there's still hate for these religions like that.
It really is. One of my husband's dear friends is Jewish, and he married a Christian woman. And they have done such an incredible job of exposing their children to both faiths.
That's nice.
And it's really remarkable to see them do it. It just takes a lot of courage and strength and hard work to give them the options of what that they want to choose to do. And to me, that's honoring the divine, like loving rather than hating, connecting rather than dividing. I think that's, boy, if the world could do more of that, just think where we could be.
I always think, as a Christian, we know that Messiah is coming back, and the Jewish faith is still waiting for the Messiah to come back. So when the Messiah comes back, it's going to be the same Messiah. So at the end of the day, everyone will be.
And they are the chosen people.
Yes. So
God's
I feel
not turning their back on them, or if God's going to turn their back on them, then our Christian faith, it's like, no, they're the chosen ones.
Yeah, so they're waiting for him, and they could even say, oh, we didn't recognize you the first time, but you're here now.
Just
so I feel like Jesus
do.
would not put any, he doesn't have those kind of rules, because it's accepting him and loving him.
And God's plan is so much bigger than ours. We can't.
Yeah, we're ignorant compared to him.
We're
like these little tiny
We try to
dumbass.
figure it out, and he's just up there going,
Laughing.
keep trying,
Yeah.
keep trying. Just like we are with our little toddlers that are learning to walk. Like,
Amen.
He's up there going,
Yeah.
oh, you're doing a good job.
You're trying. I see you.
You'll find out someday.
Yeah, we all will, and that will be a blessing.
And I love what you talked about, like the right path, and recently I've been hearing just stay in the flow. And if you stay in the flow, and to me that's staying in my walk with the Lord, things just happen the way they're supposed to happen, and it's a lot easier. And if you get off of the flow, eventually it'll get a little harder, and you're going, I want to go back. You get off on one of those decisions, you're like, oh, maybe that wasn't the right one. Let's go back.
My stepdad always said that most people are going the wrong way, so don't follow them.
Oh, that's so good.
The Holy Spirit flow, I agree. But in life, it can be true.
Yes.
And so I always take a step and think of that lesson.
Terrific. Thank you. That was our second session with Holly. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back again next week for session 3. Stay blessed, y'all.